How's it going, everybody? It's Jim, and it is officially time for our first presidential debate, and boy, am I excited. Now, just to be clear here, guys, I never, ever talk politics on this channel because that's not what this channel is about. So I will not be talking about who I think is going to win, who I think is going to lose, who's right, who's wrong, whatever. Has nothing to do with that stuff. It has everything to do with the stock market and the reaction of these debates and how it will impact the stock market. Because this is a finance channel and we talk about money and stocks and things of that nature. So now the first debate is usually the most popular one, and it's the one that everybody kind of goes out and watches. So it's a pretty big deal. So that's why I want to go ahead and cover this and go over what kind of reactions we could possibly see after this first debate in the stock market. Now, history shows us that the debates typically don't really alter the course of history, right? And in fact, they're not really a big market mover in general. However, I feel like this year just might be different. I mean, this is a special year. It's 2020, right? I mean, this year sucks. But seriously, this is a crazy year, and this is a very big election that's coming up. But if you factor in the global pandemic that we're facing, the way the markets have been drastically shifting for the past 6 months, and especially for the month of September alone, with a lot of things not looking too well out there, I'd say the circumstances are a little bit different than usual. So does this mean that we could possibly see a different kind of reaction in the markets after this first presidential debate? I mean, after all, I feel like we've never had this much tension between two candidates ever before. These kinds of tensions, combined with everything else going on in our country, going on in the world, they cause people to feel and act a certain way. And they become very concerned about their personal well-being and their financial well-being. So these kind of feelings can impact people in a way of reacting in certain ways, and in large doses could definitely have an impact on the stock market, whether it being good or bad. Now, September on its own has been a very unpredictable, very unstable month, with a lot of concerns about the rising case numbers and with the election coming up. The Dow is looking at about 3.4% decline, S&P 500 down about 4.4%, and the NASDAQ has declined about 5.3%, all in the month of September alone. Now, again, with everything going on and everything starting to heat up as we get closer to the election date, it sounds like we're going to have a big impact after this first debate. However, if we look at history, it suggests otherwise. To do this, we're going to take a step back all the way to 1960, when the debates were first starting to be televised. We're going to look at how the markets reacted to the debates the first day after, 5 days after, 10 days after, and 1 month after. So here's a chart that clearly displays all this information on the S&P 500. Now you can see right away the worst year was 2008, but that skewed a lot lower due to the financial crisis when the markets were starting to crash. So you really can only take that into consideration so much. You could also note that there were no debates from 1964 and to 1972, as these presidents just kind of refused to do debates. For that reason, who knows? Doesn't matter, it's in the past. But if we look at the overall averages, starting from 1960 until today, for the first day after is an average of 0.3% decline. 5 days after, we're looking at 0.9% decline. 10 days after, we're looking at 1.8% decline. And 1 month after, we are looking at 2% decline. Now remember, the numbers from 2008 really kind of shifted things in a negative direction. So, if we removed 2008 out of the category, then all those numbers would be in the positives, in the greens. So yeah, I guess on paper, on average, if you factor in everything, yes, after the debate typically goes down in a decline. However, if we came at it at a more realistically approach and did not count the crisis of 2008, there's usually a positive return. Now, a lot of investors out there view Trump as favorable to Wall Street, as they look at Biden, seeing that he wants to increase corporate taxes, tighten regulations, which some would believe that would weigh heavily on stocks. And this doesn't matter what side you're on or who you're rooting for, because at the end of the day, the markets care more about policies than politics. So overall, history does show us that debates don't really have too much of an impact on the economy, on the stock market itself. However, I really feel like this year's debate is going to be different because of the reasons I stated before. You have the global pandemic that's going on, so I imagine there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of questions regarding that whole kind of thing. And that's a very serious subject. Not to mention the House conveniently just announced another $2.2 trillion stimulus package bill the day of the debate. On top of that, there's simply just so much going on right now in our country with groups and movements and protests. And I just feel like there's never been so much tension jammed into such a short period of time ever before. I mean, if there's one thing that we could all agree on, it's that 2020 is a crazy year and absolutely anything is possible. So I'm really curious to see the impacts and the reactions that the stock market's going to have from this first debate. So what are your guys' opinion about this? I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's going to change at all? Do you think it's going to be in the green? Do you think it's going to be in the red? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I love getting your feedback, and I think it's really great to have you guys all interacting down in the comments. You guys should stick around for future videos though, because I do plan on posting more about this topic and cover the reactions that the markets are going to have if they have any. So go ahead, hit the red rectangle right down in the corner, subscribe, but don't forget to put the bell notifications on, otherwise you're gonna miss out when I post a video. Also guys, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It greatly helps out the performance on this video, and it will help get this information out to others. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jim Litas, and I'll see you on the next one.